Mr. Speaker, will the Prime Minister reverse all the damage he's done, or will he just call a carbon tax election so we can do it for him?
Thank you for hanging out with me. It's another episode of Over Opinionated with Jasmine Lane, and there has been a lot of talk lately about the U.S., Trump, Trudeau, and honestly, on that note, it's really weird to me. I don't quite understand what Justin Trudeau's motto is because, prior to Trump being elected, he was very frequently comparing the opposition party, which is absolutely dominating him in the polls and popularity right now, to Donald Trump. And he was saying that as an insult. And then he goes down to Mar-a-Lago, and visits Donald Trump. Donald Trump makes some jokes, whatever, jokes. Trudeau comes back. He has yet to make an official statement about that visit, by the way. And while it probably would have been in his best interest to recognize that, oh crap, the guy we never thought was actually going to be elected president again is now elected. Oh crap, we ran a massive smear campaign about this guy, comparing him and trying to insult conservatives of the nation to him because apparently having a brain, critical thinking, and loving your country is an insult. In fact, the majority of people are done with woke. We are tired of identity politics. We're tired of not having a balanced budget. Honestly, many of the problems that got Trump elected in the first place are problems that we share here in Canada as well. And Trudeau could have listened to that, and he could have said, you know what, I'm going to stop ripping apart the conservatives, and I'm going to stop making fun and mocking Donald Trump, because I'm trying really hard right now to get him to not put those tariffs on. But no, it turns out that Donald Trump was right.
Well, he's two-faced. But, the truth is that I called him out, and I guess he's not very happy about it.
He's definitely two-faced, because here he is again, still reiterating the same hate that got Donald Trump elected in the first place. This would probably be a good time to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Like the video and comment your thoughts down below.
Whether one thinks that President Trump's tariff threats are a negotiating tactic or a real plan, what we do know is what we can control. And the Prime Minister has lost control of everything. He's lost control of the borders, lost control of immigration, lost control of spending and the deficit, lost control of inflation and housing costs, lost control of his own caucus. This has put Canada in an unbearably weak position. Mr. Speaker, will the Prime Minister reverse all the damage he's done, or will he just call a carbon tax election so we can do it for him?
I think the Leader of the Opposition needs to reflect carefully on whether he really wants to amplify the erroneous narratives that the Americans are putting forward around, for example, our border, when less than 1% of migrants coming into the United States irregularly come from Canada, where 0.2% of fentanyl coming into the United States comes from Canada. These are things that we would all do well to stand up and say, yes, there's things we can and are working on together at our border, but amplifying these broken narratives is simply not responsible leadership.
Let's really think about this, okay? He quite literally just implied and said, let's read between the lines here, we're not stupid. After Donald Trump says, Canada, you have a drug problem, you have a border problem, we are going to put these tariffs on you, Justin Trudeau flies down to Mar-a-Lago to fight this, plead his case to try to get these tariffs removed. And Justin Trudeau comes back and says that amplifying dangerous rhetoric coming out of the U.S. is not responsible leadership, thereby accusing Donald Trump of not being a responsible leader. So instead of saying, hey, yeah, we totally have a problem, we're going to fix it because we respect the U.S. and we know how harmful these tariffs will be on both of our countries, he pretends that it doesn't exist and then again insults conservatives and Donald Trump. I'm sure that Donald Trump is going to be so stoked to hear this, and it's really going to make him like Justin Trudeau after hosting him at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, he's two-faced.
I also wanted to mention that in the House debate about this yesterday, Jagmeet Singh, among with other Liberals as well, were still blaming the border crisis on Stephen Harper, who was in power almost 10 years ago now. Yep.
The last Conservative government fired 1,100 border officers. That allowed illegal guns and drugs to flow freely into our country. We are all paying the price of that callous, conservative cut.
Mr. Speaker, my honourable colleague is exactly right. Conservative cuts hurt Canadians. Conservative cuts hurt our border security. Conservative cuts just hurt the Canadian economy. That is why it is so bewildering to see the Conservative leader continuing to stand up in cuts for dental care, cuts on housing investments, cuts for the kinds of services and benefits that Canadians need, whether it's a tax break for the next few months or school food programs. The Conservatives only know how to cut. That's not how Canadians prosper.
And I mean, hey, if you would have brought that up maybe the first couple years of Trudeau being prime minister, I'm sure a lot of people would have backed him. But at this point, it's just like, yeah, bro, don't care. Things that had consequences did in fact happen. We elected you to save us. And you didn't. You didn't do anything, actually. So to go and place the blame on somebody who is no longer even in Parliament from 10 years ago, yikes. This reminds me of like girlfriends, you know, when they get mad at their boyfriend and then they complain about something that happened a really long time ago. It's like, get over it already. What are you doing? It was so long ago. Why are you still mad about that? Go to therapy. I don't know. I kind of just feel like Justin Trudeau more or less had this totally BS meeting with Donald Trump and then said to Canada, good luck, folks. You're on your own. Because I'm not doing anything about it. I'm going to keep doing the same things that made everybody hate me in the first place.
Breaking things is not responsible, Mr. Speaker, and that's what he's been doing for 9 years. My job is not to cover that up for him. In fact, he's broken our economy. He's doubled the cost of housing, doubled the national debt, doubled trouble across our economy with higher taxes on working Canadians. He's in the process of raising taxes on investment and energy right now, while an American incoming president wants to take our jobs and our businesses. It's understandable why President Trump wants Canadian jobs to go south, but why does this Prime Minister want to help him do it?
We recognize that Canadians are facing challenging moments, which is why we are stepping up to deliver for them, whether it's by delivering a tax break over the next few months that the Conservatives are totally opposed to.
I have so many schools of thought on this because, yeah, the Conservatives always say, axe the tax, axe the tax. And here they are saying, no, we actually want to keep this tax. But also, when you look into it, GST accounts for such a small percentage of anything. To save 60 cents on a rotisserie chicken, not going to help anybody at all, actually. And in fact, it actually just hurts the business owners who have to go and temporarily adjust their prices. So much work for such little reward that, of course, the Trudeau government does not care about at all. Not to mention that the public budget officer, of which whose documents and findings the Liberals really like to manipulate and cherry pick, has said that removing the Liberals' carbon tax would save Canadians much more money compared to the temporary 2-month pause on GST.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader just wants to exploit the challenges Canadians are facing while we will solve them.
While we will solve them. Hey, that's weird because you also just said in this exact same debate that you don't believe that there even is a problem and that Donald Trump is an irresponsible leader. So that's weird. I would far rather personally have a leader who actually acknowledges, discusses, researches, and talks to us about the very things that we are complaining about and promises change and gives us ideas and options and speaks to us like we're humans versus a leader who says, yep, you guys don't have any problems, you silly little peasants. The economy's great. You're going to save 5 cents. Okay, we are so nice to you. It's unreal, actually. And the Conservatives, oh my gosh, no, they're not nice to you. Did you know what they did 10 years ago? Yeah, I know. That's why you got to keep us in power again. Like, bro, who are you talking to here? This is insane, actually. And people have access to all of these documents as well. They just hope that they don't actually do the research into them because then, well, I'm sure they still would, but then they can't continue to lie about them. They can't lie about the budget anymore. Does anybody else think it's weird how the budget announcement typically comes out in October and it's December and it still isn't out yet? Do you think that's because maybe they went unbelievably over budget again and nothing has balanced itself and they want to save that until the absolute last minute possible to release it, as they continue to try so gosh darn hard to get more people on their side by saying these same things over and over again that are not true. I'm Jasmine Lane. This is Over Opinionated. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Like and share the video if you feel as though it's worthy of it, of course. And I will talk to you tomorrow.